So today on Unity Motorsports Garage is a big day. This is the day I've been waiting on because I've got project mixed up balls here behind me. And guess what? The crankshaft is in the block. I got to give a huge shout out to Eric Hester and the guys at M&E Engine Services for taking the time to deck this block and get everything perfect so that I know that when I get this thing running, it's going to last the long haul. But let's talk about this for a minute. You notice I got the crankshaft in the block. I've done checked the bearing clearances. I'm right around 27 10,000ths to 29 10,000ths, which is really good because I believe in the rule of thumb of 1,000ths of clearance per every inch of journal. So that's dead on right there. But if you notice, and I'll put a link up to the video where I took the engine apart, I actually checked the deck height of each cylinder when I took the short block apart. And the reason why I done that was see how far the piston was down in the hole. But I soon discovered that the block was out of square, which that is totally not common. Or yeah, it is common, let me say that. It is common because every aftermarket block that I have worked with has needed to be decked, because when they send these things out, they have the intentions for you to take your block to the machine shop and have final machining done there. So keep that in mind. Even though this was an assembled short block, the decks were out of square. They were perfectly straight, but they wasn't on the right axis, which I'll do another video on that coming up. But so today we're going to get the main caps on this thing torqued down and get the ball rolling. Alright folks, it's almost showtime. I've got the rings on the pistons here, got the bearings in the connecting rods, clearances are good, got all of my tools out, and went to look for my famous Total Seal piston ring compressor, and guess what? I let somebody borrow it. So I had to get old Betsy out here, completely old school. Well, I could have waited until I got it back, but I really want to get this thing put together. But just show you how old this thing is, it was actually made here in USA. So this thing's been around the block. Okay, so the main thing is when you're using old Betsy here, make sure that you take your time, because this thing, it will make you bleed. And it's already made me bleed. And another thing is you have to be very gentle when you're knocking the piston in to make sure that everything is square. And if for some reason it doesn't feel like it's going, make sure you stop and start over. Go gentle, just like that, and voila, piston is in the hole. Another thing too is when you're doing this is making sure that you guide the rod down onto the crankshaft. If you're using connecting rods that's got the bolts in the rod itself, make sure you put a piece of hose or something over it for protection, and then you'll be good to go. Well, here you have it, the assembled short block for Project Mixed Up Boss. I have to say, I just love the valve pockets being opposite of each other. That's going to be so cool. Yeah, I got the rod bolt stretch set at 5.5 thousandths. Wound up being 64 foot-pounds of torque. So yeah, there it is. All assembled and ready to go. Well, there you have it, folks. The short block for Project Mixed Up Boss is together. So now it's just waiting on the camshaft from Howard's to be ground, and then we can make some really big progress. Got to give a huge shout out to Eric Hester of M&E Engine Services in Shelby, North Carolina, for doing the balancing work on this thing and making sure that the decks were on the right plane. So thank you, Eric. I realized that I have a love-hate relationship here with Betsy. It made me bleed multiple times, so if you're using one of these old things, make sure that you use caution, because I hate bleeding. Till next time, this is Andy from Unity Motorsports Garage. Catch you later.